Hi, everyone. Welcome back to season two, episode two of Wicked, where I am handing over the mic to brave, beautiful women who have survived domestic violence. Today, we're going to listen to my friend Jax's story, which is another pretty severe story. And we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the details. Of course, there's always a trigger warning. This one does also involve gun violence. So if this is any major trigger to you, just be warned that this does come up in the episode quite frequently. So let's get to her story. When women dare to fully be themselves, to rise up as the divine beings they are, to operate in their magic, their sexuality, their power, they are always labeled one thing: wicked. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Wicked. Today, I have another guest. This is my friend Jax. We met years ago, back in like 2017 or 2018 on Instagram. She actually started out as, I think, one of my clients, right? Like tarot reading clients. And
Yes.
then, yes, and then we have really close belief systems in our spiritual paths. And so, we've been talking ever since, and we talk a ton all the time now. And her story, she actually reached out to me when she was going through her DV survival and what was going on. And she reached out to me. Oh, I'm getting chills right now. I remember her reaching out to me and being far away from her because she was in Texas at the time. I'm in Florida. I was like, how do I help her from a distance? Like, you have a new mom, and like, I was understanding everything she was going through. And like, I was like trying to reach out to people I knew in Texas to see if there was any way to get her protection. And like, the feeling of helplessness, like, I hate that. I hate that. Like, like, I wish I could just fly out there and fucking help her. But I was in the swarms of my own shit at the same time. And I'm just so, it was pretty intense. So I know some of her story. I'm hearing details for the first time with you guys with a lot of this stuff, the more deeper details. But I feel like I can help now, at least with a platform, to get her story out. And so that we can really, again, give women that place to help other women through their stories, to heal by finally getting it off their chest and telling their whole story. So I'm really excited for this. So welcome, Jax.
Thank you.
Um, so let's first talk about how you and were you guys married? Yes. Okay. So how you first met your husband and where you were at in your life, how you guys met, how he drew you in. They're all charming. Again, like I said in the last episode, they don't be like, "Hey, I secretly hate women. I'm gonna beat you up at some point."
But they
Um,
kind of do.
okay, I'm
They
ready
do
for the
and they don't.
story. Right, right. There's a little red flags that you're like, but are you joking? And this is where it's like, as a woman, every word out of that man's mouth, take it serious. Take it serious. So,
Right.
all right. So I'm passing the mic to you. So,
Okay, so I think, just kind of like how we talked about a little bit earlier, I'm gonna go both with how we met, how I got drawn in, and situations in my life at that time. I
yes.
think these types of things don't happen to people who aren't in very vulnerable places and
Mhm.
like not aware and not keeping their guard up when they know they should, because ultimately our gut tells us, right?
Yes.
So, I moved from Miami to Houston in 2018. Not a bad relationship, great relationship, actually. We just weren't in love. And we were together 5 years. In 2020, we broke up. And so in 2020, there was COVID going on.
Yeah.
There was my breakup, and I had just opened my barbershop in a whole new city where I barely knew anybody. I only knew my clients
Yeah.
and my coworkers. And so I felt really alone. I felt really like just so alone and so like, I don't know, wanting to find something. And I think that was what made me be in a really vulnerable place. And so I had met somebody, we were going out often, we were kind of talking, which is kind of messed up. But his barber was this person.
Okay.
So, me and that guy, we just argued a lot. We didn't understand each other. We argued so much. It was toxic.
Yeah.
I knew it was, and it was just kind of like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
And so this guy, I met him at a party. We were all like at a little get together at somebody's house, and everybody was talking, everybody. And he was just in the corner on the side, just kind of like leaning up against the corner and like, yeah. And he was so cool, calm, collected, chill. I saw, I practiced Santeria, Ifa, whatever you want to call it. He had his big bracelet,
Oh yeah.
already like
You eye that
somebody
and you're
who
like,
understands
ooh
me,
la la.
somebody who
Yeah.
understands me.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I will say my personality before and after that are so different. And I think motherhood is a part of that too.
Yes, a 1,000%.
But that too. So like we're there at the party and everybody's talking and he's the only one not participating and just listening, giggling, like laughing to himself, whatever. And I'm like, and what about you? Like join the conversation, come. Like I wasn't physically attracted, but there was something about him that I was like, why are you not including yourself? Like talk, be part of this. Like you seem cool too, you know? And that night, like, we got along. We talked a little bit. I don't know why. Something in me was just like, do you have a wife? And I was like, why am I even asking that? Like, I don't care. I'm not interested.
Right.
But it came out, and he had told me his wife and his children had died in Costa Rica, which we will get back to. And so throughout, this was like September. Was talking to the other person who was his barber for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then me and him were forming a friendship and stuff. And he realized he would tell me, like, it's toxic, you shouldn't be in that. And I'm just telling you, like, so charming, so sweet, so like
Like as
listen
if he's looking out for
to
you.
me. Like he's looking at
Yeah.
me. Like when we would go out, the barber would be like, hey, I'm gonna invite him because I know y'all get along. And it would like, just like make my night. I'd be like, oh my God, yay.
Oh, wow.
And then
Yeah.
like we just got along so well. So one night we went out for one of my clients' birthdays. Um, and he was like flirting with some girl, and a little bit of me got jealous. And I'm like, where is this even coming from? But again, kind of like let it go. And I do think that there's other things that have to do with that magical, mystical thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we need to really get into that because I also don't want to be like, that was it. And then like people who are not,
Yeah. Yeah.
they'll be like, nah, turn off,
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah.
That's stupid. That
Well,
doesn't,
I'll address that too in a little bit.
yeah. So, so then, just after that, we're talking, we're getting along, we're cool. And he had like told me to go to his house and hang out. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. And I was already like, I'm not talking to the barber anymore. And so I go to his house to hang out and everything's cool, everything's great, whatever. But I'm realizing there's like an other idea on that side. I'm like,
Okay.
okay. And I wasn't uncomfortable with it, but I wasn't comfortable with it.
Well, what do you mean by another idea? Like on his side, like him
Like
like pursuing
romantically,
you?
like pursuing me,
Okay.
yeah. And so I don't know, his friend was there living with him, and then it turns out his friend is my godfather's wife's cousin.
Okay.
And so we were just like bonding over that. And then I had to go to work the next
And
day.
so just so you guys know, she's talking about her godparents and her religion.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So then it was getting late. I'm like, I should go home. He was like, no, no, like stay here. I'm way closer to your shop than you are, which is true. I was about 30, 40 minutes away and he was 10. So I was like, oh, okay. He's like, go in the room, lock the door, like do whatever you want to feel comfortable. And I did. And then lo and behold, someone comes in and I was so asleep and so like whatever that I was like, oh, and we cuddled for a bit and then led to other things and then boom, feelings happen.
Right.
So from there, things are just,
AKA hormones happen.
yeah,
Bonding hormones happen in the woman's brain, and all of a sudden we're not thinking right.
yeah. So, so like it was a little awkward, but then, bonding hormones.
Yeah.
And so from there, just things bloomed. Things were good. This was October already. Like October, November, one of his sisters came. Everything was great. And actually, let me backtrack a little bit because just to go into warning signs.
Okay, yeah.
Um, or is that kind of out of
No, no, go ahead. We'll just flow with
Okay.
whatever.
So as we're like getting to know each other and talking and stuff, and even before I went and hung out at his house, I had asked him again, like, we're friends now. So like, or you would think, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of knowing somebody, you're not really friends with them. But also, kind of we're gonna get into that too. Hispanic culture, Latino culture, we get so we bond quickly.
Hmm.
And so like typically with us, the first time you're together.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so we're friends, everything's fine. I don't know, it's a few weeks in, maybe a month in, and I'm like, what happened to your wife and your kids? Like, if it's a sensitive topic, I'm so sorry. You don't have to talk to me about it. But like, what happened? And he was like, no, I just said that because they're basically dead to me. And I was like, that's crazy to say, but what happened? And immediately with him like telling me that and explaining the situation, I'm getting alarm systems,
Right.
but I'm like being in a vulnerable state, just being a type of person who wants to see the good in everybody.
Hmm.
And, realizing also too, sometimes people say things that they don't mean.
Hmm.
Maybe it just came off wrong. Who knows?
We
Justify.
we make our own, yes, we make our
We
own
make justification.
justifications
It's
because it's
true.
like sometimes too, it's like in our minds, like there's no way somebody could be that bad. Like, because you were not. Like we don't behave that way. So it's like beside us. And that's naivety. And unfortunately, like, I mean, I gained most of my intelligence around men because of my last relate. Like that's how we grow, unfortunately, is like going through the like if that was to happen now, it would be like, yeah, no, goodbye. I wouldn't even talk block. Like,
So,
you know?
yes, that's the one thing is like it's so important to recognize self-awareness is number one because
Mhm.
something that's so important for me and like what I want to get into and everything eventually is prevention
Mhm.
for women and then also I mean and men too, but mostly women and then like help for people who are in it.
Yeah.
But prevention is a really important thing for me because if you're already in it, it's a lot harder than knowing to not get in it or like
Mhm.
how to recognize the signs of like,
Yes. It's turning the past experience into wisdom, and that's how you don't remain a victim. Like
yes.
you turn that into wisdom to carry forward.
See, and I don't like to think of myself as a victim. As a matter of fact, I think he's the victim. I think he's the victim to his own self because he has to live with himself every day. He has to do the hard mental work and craziness of trying to convince himself
Which
that my
isn't, we'll get into,
intentions
yeah, we'll
might
get
be
into that. They're
bad.
they're already insane. Like he already did that in his first relationship, right? Like
Exactly.
they take on the persona of victim very easy, and then it's like they live in this bubble of reality that they've created. and then they have to pull you into that bubble. So my guess is when he was describing what happened, he was such a victim of it, and it was
Such a
so,
victim.
and he made you feel bad, and then because you're naturally nurturing and caring, you're like, oh my God, but yeah, now that wouldn't work anymore.
So that's
But
exactly what
but
happened.
yes, they're very good. My
Mhm.
ex is the same way, very good at playing victim so that you think that they, oh my God, the world's just against you, isn't it?
It depends because there's also different types, and I
Right.
don't say this loosely. I think it's important to not throw around medical terms because like people are like, "Oh, I'm OCD," or "Oh, I'm bipolar," "Oh, you're this," or "Oh, you're that," and that's not good. First of all, it's so
Yes.
unhelpful. But he's textbook narcissist, and there's
Yes.
different types of narcissists,
Correct.
and just because somebody is abusive, harmful, or even has narcissistic traits. We all have narcissistic traits.
Right.
That doesn't
Traits
mean they're
versus
a
actual NPD
narcissist.
disorder is like it. And again, the whole concept of the bubble, of the, like, it's an actual mental disorder, like that.
Yeah.
And their reality is based off this bubble that they have created, and they have to
Mhm.
pull you into it, or else, like, their bubble can't explode no matter what. So
Mhm.
they will have all kinds of, and like, they actually think that's reality. They do not see
True.
themselves as like, they are convinced that their reality is truth. So like you, and so they speak from like their reality, so it makes it feel real when you're hearing it. It lets
Mhm.
you know what to look for.
Mhm. So again, alarm bells.
Hmm.
And I think it's also important to recognize, are the alarm bells about the person or about the situation? Like, oh wait, there's more to the situation, or like, oh wait, this person is dangerous. Um, and I didn't recognize that at that time. I just felt the alarm bells and I'm like, oh, it's just because, this is traumatizing for him or something. And so he's explaining to me how as soon as him and his wife and his kids got here from Cuba, that um, basically they were here a couple of years, they left, they came, Cuba, Costa Rica, went up, and that's why he says they all died in Costa Rica. Because that was the last time that things were good with them. And when they got here, everything was terrible, everything was bad. And then apparently she left him. And hint number one, which is an abuser speaking their truth while also speaking the truth, while also making it seem like, but it's not like that, to
Hmm.
draw you in,
Yeah, yeah.
was, oh, because she made up all these lies that I was abusive to her and that I was this and I was that. And even the kids are in on it.
She convinced the
She
kids.
brainwashed them.
Yep.
Mind you, they're grown. At
Okay.
this point, the youngest was born here in the United States. The wife was pregnant coming up, and she was 13, 14 at that time. So they were big. They were
Yeah.
big. They were old enough to make their own decisions,
Yeah.
but mom brainwashed them.
Right.
And so alarm bells, I'm like, let's cabinet that until I will see the truth. And
Yeah.
that was what I told myself. I will see the truth. I will see the truth. Now, as things are good, we're doing good, we're doing well. Thanksgiving, great. Christmas, great. Thanksgiving and Christmas, though, great. Because, on Thanksgiving, I ended up going home because I was still living on my own and him there, me here. And I realized, or I find out, he had gone just like driving by where his ex had moved to, that she didn't know he knew where she lived. So I'm starting to realize like he stalked her and the kids. And then, he's trying to look out for his kids. And like she left him to go be with a woman, supposedly, which is a complete lie that I don't know
You
at
know,
this.
I've heard this lie out of like true narcissists' mouths more than once. It's like a it's like, sometimes I think they're like robotic programs that are like implanted in narcissists' brain.
Oh,
They follow the same script.
I'll get
Okay.
to what my reason for leaving was of quitting
Okay.
him, and then also he had married a girl after this
Okay.
like his they weren't legally married, but they were together 23 years.
Okay.
So he had married a girl. They were together months. They divorced immediately after,
Oh wow.
and then met me
Okay.
a few months after. So I know about that girl. She's crazy. She's crazy, you know? And I get it. Shoot, I'm the crazy ex to somebody that's
Right.
like, whatever at this point. And I'm like, oh, crazy exes, they happen, whatever. But this whole like 23 years together, three kids, now they're dead to you. She made up all of this stuff to get away from you because she's lesbian. Like, it's not adding up.
Right, right.
But I'm also like, let me see this out. Let me see this out because he's so good at telling the story. People who had seen him abuse me and seen how bad it got with me were like, I honestly thought his stories were true, that these people were lying, but I'm seeing it live with you
Right.
and you need to get out. And this was 2 years later. So we will get there.
Yes.
But Christmas, I went with him to drive by the exorcist. We literally like staked out to make sure that her lesbian lovers weren't in the house with
Oh
his.
my God.
And I'm here like, part of me know like internally war. Just like
Yeah.
this is wrong. This is weird. He's stalking his ex, not his kids. Like, but then I'm telling myself, you're being a crazy, jealous girlfriend.
Right. This is where women we blame like people don't understand the internal dialogue because women are literally taught to constantly blame themselves. So it's like there's always this thing where we're like this isn't right, but then we blame ourselves for thinking that. It's a very weird thing that goes on like internally with us.
Patriarchy,
Hmm.
protect the man at all
Yep.
costs.
Exactly.
Um, and so again, just like as part of prevention, as part of like when you're getting into it or in it, realizing the signs and like if something is off, don't convince yourself it's not.
Yep.
If
Don't
something
blame your trauma, your
leave trauma,
jealousy.
and you want to know
Don't.
what? If you're being a crazy jealous girlfriend, you are being a crazy jealous girlfriend,
Yep, just do it.
that make you
Just do it. Yep.
find somebody that won't make you crazy and jealous because there are people.
Hmm.
That was another thing I've always fought with that since like really young is just like also part of being vulnerable and like not healing that. My father was never in the picture. My mom, love you, mom. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. But I don't want to say she never gave me a mother's love, but I'm going to say that for lack of another way to say it. We weren't, it wasn't what I thought as a kid I should be getting.
Yeah.
And so I just always looked for that.
Right.
And then when I had somebody, I'm like, this is it. Like, who else is gonna love me? Who's gonna love me the way?
Right. And so then you don't want to let that go. So that other inner battle, because it's like, I finally got the love. Because like you, as a child, you chase down from your parents the love, like, why won't you love me the way I want? And then when you meet someone, it usually tends to be toxic because you feel like you've done something to be rewarded by them for their love. And that especially the narcissist dynamic, it's like they give you these hits of oxytocin, these hits of love, and you're like, oh, I'm like the inner child, like, oh, I'm finally getting the love that I want. And then it withdraws a little bit, but then you feel like you do something when they do it again, and you're like, oh, I'm finally. So it's this like tug of war happening, and it's another reason why we end up in these dynamics until we heal that part and be like, it's a very internal thing that needs to be healed, or you're forever chasing something external to give that to you, which is very dangerous.
Hmm. It is. And I think like a lot of people go through that.
Oh,
So,
almost everybody.
and
Yes, yes,
especially women,
yes.
because I feel like women have a hard time because we just beat ourselves up,
Yep.
women. We have
Yep.
such a hard time loving ourselves. Men, it's so easy for them. No, let me take that back. They're good at acting like they love themselves.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
So, and it just kind of goes back to how, even in the podcast and all your posts, you talk about how like patriarchy beats down both men and
Yes. It's a corrupt system in general. And right now it's patriarchy itself that's keeping men and women separated, which is also very detrimental to the healing of both of
both.
us. Because it's keeping men in their ego to keep away from women who are trying to heal. Like it'll all eventually, but it's going to take a lot of years.
Mhm. And so, like that day on Christmas, we saw his oldest child, his son's girlfriend, getting like gifts out of the car to like go put them in the house. I guess they were asleep, whatever. Like she was getting the gifts out of his car to go put into the house. And he just started, like, my ex, he just started bawling. Like, he was like, oh my God, they're still together. And also, I'm remembering this now, the car that was his son's car was bought from who he said was his ex's lesbian lover. Now, the car, I will say, had something to do with somebody that was helping her to get out of the relationship.
Okay.
So I'm putting together the things and I'm realizing, but I didn't know that at this time. I'm just like,
Right.
my lover's car, and now her son is driving it. Wow, like,
And then he's
um,
crying. So you're like, oh, he's so
and I
emotionally.
was just
And
like, how disrespectful his son, like being all in on that, and then like,
hmm
you know, so he's crying, he's like terribly sad, like depressed, like going through it. And I just feel for him. I feel for him. So cool. New Year's comes. Not great neither. I don't know, we got into an argument or something, and then the arguments kind of started from there, like from the holidays. And I just don't even remember what they were about. But they were small, insignificant, stupid, but blow up arguments.
yep.
And I'm just kind of like, this isn't normal. This isn't normal. And mind you, I had been in an abusive relationship before when I was in high school. I had an ex who would just go at me for like literally no reason. And when I had broken up with him, we literally like fought.
Oh my God.
And then in the middle of me hitting him hitting me, like both of us just like going at it, he called my mom and he's like, pick up your whore daughter, like pick up your fucking bitch daughter. And I thank God my mom didn't know. I had a long sleeve on that day because it was cold. It was fall, winter, I don't know, Miami cold. And like my mom couldn't see all the bruises I had. Like it was bad.
Wow.
After that, I went to therapy. I learned the circle, the wheel, the power,
Yeah, the cycle of abuse.
and then the
Yeah.
cycle abuse, the power control wheel, like all of
Yep.
these. I knew these things in my head,
Oh my God.
and I was going over them in my head as this is going on, and I'm like, but how can someone so emotional and so sensitive and
Yes. Oh my God, girl. Yep.
so beaten down
hmm
be like that?
Yeah. So again, we're telling ourselves we're crazy. This is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I'm just like, it wasn't really telling myself I'm crazy. I was just like being sympathetic, I guess, to someone who didn't deserve it.
hmm
Because I might say some things that maybe you or anybody listening might take it wrong, like if or victim blaming, which I'm never going to do because I know my part in it and I can admit my part in it. But that doesn't mean I deserve that.
Right.
Number one.
Exactly.
Number two, um, it might sound like I might be like sympathizing, like abuser sympathizing, and no,
No.
because we're all grown, we're all old enough to like understand how we work and how we function. And again, also that also has to do with culture and stuff, which we will get into. But like we can all work on ourselves. We can all
Yes,
make
we're vocalizing the psychological internal process that goes on. And that is what is healing because this goes on in a lot of women's inner realm and we don't vocalize it. And so even understanding that, okay, I like other women also do this. It's like it's not blaming ourselves or like victim blaming or like
it's
being
pattern
sympathetic.
recognition.
Right. And it's understanding like it's not so cut and dry. It's not when you're in a relationship and there's emotions involved for a female, that will like override logical thinking a lot and then it starts to like shift your reality. Like you're seeing somebody cry and be emotional. So then that nurturing caregiving comes out. And then you already have bonding through sex and oxytocin and all of this to that person that you care for. So it's like that is starting to override logic, even though your brain is like, hey, remember the wheel, remember this, remember. And it's like, but how can it be? So there's like these two parallel things going on in our inner realm. And it
And you're
makes
like in
it
the middle,
hard.
kind of like,
Yes, it makes it hard.
which one
Yep,
is right? Which one's
exactly.
true?
Exactly.
And then also I feel like part of it too is like not wanting to be the bad guy.
Hmm.
But guess what I learned? I'm okay with being the bad guy.
Yes.
I am
Yep.
okay with being the
Yep.
villain.
Yep. I'll be the villain in your story. Fine.
That's fine. Wonderful. Beautiful.
Yep.
If you heard it, if it makes you feel bad, let me make it worse.
Exactly.
Let me make it worse. Um, so all these things are happening. January comes around, and this is our big blow up. So we're moving on from like charming and beautiful to like now things are getting a little toxic.
How many months in are we at this point?
Blow. October to
Oh,
January.
okay. So yeah, this is why it's hard, but you gotta give it the 3 month love bombing window. It literally lasts 3 months and then things will start. The red flags will get flaggier. They'll get redder. They'll be waved in your face. 3 months.
And in those 3 months, again, these people will tell their story and will tell you the truth, but twist it in a way that makes it sound
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
They're so good at it.
she said I was abusive. The kids are in on it. Like, yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. Because they saw what you did. They witnessed it. They saw what you did to them. They felt it. They were there. Like,
Yep.
they experienced things with you too. So, January. Mind you, I find out in January the I can just like freely, right? It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're not gonna
go.
get flagged for anything.
No, no. This is
Okay.
my own podcast.
So good. So drugs were involved. I was thinking it was like coke, it was meth.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I know how that affects people's minds and stuff. And when I found that out, that caused a huge fight.
Yeah.
This was like, how can you be doing that? And he was like, oh, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna quit. And like he was so good at making it seem like it's just social. It's just like,
You don't socially meth around.
and especially not with
Like you
a
can't.
can
Oh God.
of like a can. No. So I find that out. And then I'm just like done. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this toxic stuff. I don't want to deal with any of this. We get into a huge argument. He's over there. I'm over here. And I'm like, that's it. I don't want to see you again. I don't want to talk to you. Like, we're good. I block his number. Comes knocking on my window, knocking on my door, calls my mom, And my mom calls me and is like, he just wants to talk to you. And like, but he is aggressively like banging on my window and like, open. And I'm like, and then it goes from aggressive to like, please just open the door. I don't want to fight and yada yada yada. And then my mom calling me and telling me like, just open it, just talk to him. Even if you guys end things, just talk to him.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, okay, because back to trying to like
Coddle the
not
man.
understanding how evil people are.
Right.
How can you be so evil to get my mom involved? And trigger warning, it's gonna get bad. He is methed out.
Of course.
Black.
Oh my
Black.
God.
There's no like this white, none of that. It's black. Like looks like a whole demon. Okay, like scary face. And he's just like, oh, like starts off sweet, calm. My mom's also on the phone. Once I'm disarmed, I'm like, all right, mom, we're gonna talk things out some more. We'll call you back. I'm also thinking I'm a little hot-blooded. So I'm also thinking like, okay, things are calming down, like we're being real sweet to each other. Maybe we can have some makeup fun, you know? Why am I gonna have my mom on the phone for that? So I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, mom, we're gonna keep talking. And we were gonna keep talking. It was like a switch as soon as I got off the phone with my mom. Give me your phone. Boom, my phone. And just like going crazy. I don't even, honestly, I'm so glad that I have healed from this because I know things were said and done that like I don't want to remember, but I remember the very major parts.
Mhm.
So it goes from taking my phone, taking my, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. He took my phone so I wouldn't call the cops. He ended up taking my Apple Watch so I wouldn't call the cops. While he made a hole in my door because he was in my living room and I was in my room and I was gonna call from my Apple Watch. Gets his unregistered, completely illegal gun, and he keeps pointing it to me, pointing it to me. I have never dealt with those things in my life. Up until this point, my mom had a fear of them from issues from childhood, instilled that fear into me, and like those are the worst things in the world. While I'm living in Texas, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So like I didn't know anything about them. And he's pointing it at me, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, and so I don't know, like it went from the living room to the bedroom to the bathroom in the bedroom to like back to the living room, back to the bedroom. My Apple Watch was taken, my phone was taken. And it got to the point where he would like put a pillow in my face. And he was like, hold the pillow because I don't like to see people's faces when them. And I have no idea where it came from. I just took the pillow and I'm like, no, because if you're gonna do that to me, you're gonna look me in the eyes and be a fucking man about it. Like, I was like, you're not gonna be a little bitch. You're gonna look at me and you're gonna fucking do it. If you have the balls to do it, you're gonna fucking do it. And I'm like, you won't let me call the cops? That's fine. Don't worry about it. There's other days for that. But if you're gonna murder me, make sure that you're looking me in the eyes like a fucking man when I go. And he didn't want to. And he didn't want to, and he didn't want to. And then things got crazy. I locked myself in the bathroom. Like he almost broke down the bathroom door. I had to, you know, to calm things down, be around him again. And just like he stabbed me with a pen. He was forcing me to go to sleep. And when trying to force me to go to sleep, like he had the gun under his pillow. And I just knew like if I get up from this bed, he's going to grab that gun again. And so what happens? He Oh, it's like uncomfortable to say.
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
And I'm just like, I just gotta get through this. Like, I just gotta get through this. Wow. So that brought up some feelings. Um, I had to go to the barber shop the next day and he was regretful, crying, apologizing. Like, mind you, this was like 4 or 5 in the morning and I had to be up at like 8 to go. Took me to the barber shop because he was scared I was gonna call the cops. Stayed out there. And I don't know how I went in my own car and he went in his. So like meanwhile, I'm calling my mom, I'm telling her everything that happened. I'm like, it's all your fault. Like you told me to open the door for him, which in retrospect I shouldn't have done because how horrible must she feel that all that happened because of her convincing me to let him in. But I'm like, she's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I called one of my friends who all her family are cops in Miami. Her dad, her husband, like pe ton of people in her family. And I go, what do I do? And she goes, in these situations, it might be safer for you. She's like, his ex was with him 23 years and she's still around. You're good for another couple of months. Like, you have to escape and smart. You can't just end things because maybe he'll go to jail today and then tomorrow he gets out and he knows where you live, he knows where your barbershop is. It's not just a job, it's your business.
This is the scary reality of these situations. And so when people are always like, why didn't you just leave? Because it's dangerous to just leave.
So, okay, here's a couple of facts that I found out while in the process of making my exit, my great escape, I call it.
Hmm.
Um, it's always more dangerous when they have an inkling or an idea and when you're in the process of leaving.
Hmm.
It's always more dangerous when you've already left.
Hmm.
And I can't remember the exact statistics of percentages and numbers and ratio, why, but it's always significantly more dangerous getting out, which again goes back to why I think prevention and early intervention is so important.
Hmm.
Because if they don't get to that point with you, they will maybe not just leave you alone, but they will just leave you alone
Hmm.
to an extent. It won't be a nightmare and you won't feel like you're having to look over your shoulders.
Yeah.
So that was the very first blow up. 3 months in. Wait, October to November, December, 3 months in.
Holy shit.
And we moved in together a month later.
After this happened,
And it was because, again, this whole time I am, how do you say erizado? Like with goosebumps, just like skin crawling, like on attention, like when is the next thing gonna happen? How do I do? Like, how do I not have another fight like this? And I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And I just had those words from my friend's phone call when I was at the barbershop while he was waiting for me outside the day after all of that was just, if she lasted 23 years, you can last another couple months. And I was like, I got this. Like, I've been through it before. I know how to get out. I'm grown now. There's a way out. I got this. And let me tell you, I did not got this.
no.
We do not got this.
No.
Do not tell yourself I got this because it can and will get worse. The first situation is always going to be light work.
Yeah. So
So
you're thinking it can't get worse.
I'm thinking it
And
can
you're
get worse.
right. And you're thinking about what your friend had said of like, okay, I have to act like things are okay and then plan an escape that is unconscious to him.
And the plan was get my ass back home to Miami. Like, we're better. I'm in a city where I don't know anybody but my clients and my
Right.
ex-coworkers. This person who knows where I live, knows where I work, knows it's my business. It's not just something I can just up and leave.
Hmm. Oh, right. You have a whole business.
Yeah.
So you're in survival mode in your head, trying to make the best choice for your life. And oh my God, girl, this is insane. And
Hmm.
this is, there's so much I want to say in this because, like, to people that have never been in abusive relationships, like you don't understand what goes on when you're thinking about your life and what is the best way to preserve it. And so, like, someone on the outside could be like, why the fuck would you move in with this person? But like internally, you're like, how do I stay alive? Because I can't, it's not like I can just say no. It's not like I can just you just had a gun and held to your face, a pillow put over like you're so there's now all these new sets of adrenaline hormones running through your body. You think at any moment he could just off and kill you. So it's like, how do I make it look like and play the role of I'm still in love with you. I'm always going to be there, but then also in the back of my head secretly be planning a safe exit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so that night, I also I relied so much on my like spirituality too. And I think that's what gave me the strength to be like, look me in my eyes when you do it.
Yeah. Shit.
Because I something just told me, I don't know, I had my elekis.
Hmm.
I only had my elekis of Orula and Oshun was my crown. And that's like for people who don't know Santeria Ifa, Orula is like our Jesus Christ. He is like he's the divinator. He's the one that like knows the past, present, and future. And he'll tell you like, do these things, avoid these things. And like these are things that can possibly happen depending on how you move. He's who saves the world. That's why I say he's like Jesus. And then Oshun is my patron saint, we'll say.
Hmm.
That's my mother. And so I was just like looking at him like, Orula's not gonna let you do anything to me. Oshun's not gonna let you do anything to me. I was like, I don't know why, but I bet you if you click, it's not gonna boom. So go ahead. And I honestly, ever since I was a child, I've had so much like death anxiety. It's been a thing I have lived with forever. I will have straight up panic attacks, like I'm gonna die one day. And somehow, when I have a gun to my face, I'm getting threatened with exactly that reality. I'm like, go the fuck ahead. And like I was ready. I was like, if he clicks and it booms, that's what's meant to happen. And if he clicks, it's probably not gonna boom. But if it does, either I'm gonna survive or I don't know. But I was like, I don't think this is gonna happen. Something in me, I was like, Orula's not gonna let you do it. Oshun's not gonna let you do it. They're not gonna let you like crazy.
Holy shit.
So then, boom, survival mode happens. Survival mode hits. It's just how can I navigate this in the safest way?
Yeah.
And people who have not been in it don't understand. It is not as easy as, well, that was a major deal. Call the cops and be done with it.
Right.
Again, like my friend said, who has experience with these types of things. She also had been in an abusive relationship and was able to get out of it and everything too. So she knows. She's
Hmm.
speaking from experience.
At the end of the day, the law can only do so much, and there's not really enough laws to protect women because, like, even in, my situation, other interviews, people that I've been in contact with over this, like, even just getting a restraining order is hard. So it's like, and then if it doesn't go through, now the other party's pissed that you even attempted, and you still have to go home to that. And then
Let's
you're
be
not,
real
it's
though. Even a restraining order
it's a
is
piece of
just a
paper
piece
because
of
the cops still have to get there in time.
they do. And so with this, I knew, just like my friend said, jail today, out tomorrow,
Hmm.
apartment. job. Like, we live in Houston. It's a big city, but it's also small.
Hmm.
So, like, what, I just can't go out anywhere now?
Right.
What, I can't go, like, to the same place I was going before? No, no. So, I gotta be smart.
Hmm.
And so, Waterworks, I'm so sorry, starts to show me a little bit, which I only know a little bit regarding guns, but like he showed me I didn't even have the clip in. The reason why I kept going like this was to make sure there was no bullets in there. There wasn't. And
He's trying to save himself by being like, I was just trying to scare you with my gun.
that's exactly what it was. Just trying to scare you. And I was like, that's a crazy way to try to scare somebody. But okay. Like, not okay, not accepting of that, but let me, okay, okay, and let's
Hmm.
move forward because I know I got to do whatever it takes to get out smart.
Right.
And so, in retrospect, hindsight is 2020. I feel like, and this is spiritual and woo-woo, but I feel like things happened exactly the way they needed to. Because I do feel like had I not had my child, had I not had my oldest, there would have been a point where it would have truly been life or death. Because I feel like having a child made him like, well, that baby needs her. So it made him hold back a little bit. And I will say, when things got tough and things got bad, you could tell him holding back because I
Wow.
am 5 feet. This is a 6'2" stocky, athletic, judo, jujitsu, martial arts his whole life. From like bloodlines, like great grandfather, grandfather, father, him. Just in retrospect, I feel like part of it, I don't know how to explain this. So like, I feel like in life, what I believe is that this is also based on like teachings from our religion and then just personal beliefs. I feel like we do have a destiny, but just because I feel like destiny is not what people think it is. They don't think it's like this is going to happen this day because it's destined to. Like, no, I think destiny is fluid to
Hmm.
where like there's a blueprint and there's markers that you absolutely have to and will hit, good or bad.
Hmm.
And then there are some that maybe you can avoid if you just make the certain choices to avoid those things,
Hmm.
good or bad. And so I feel like it was destined for my son to be just here, obviously, number one, because obviously he's here. And two, a part of me getting out.
Hmm.
Because I honestly do feel like if he was not around, I probably wouldn't be either.
This is
And especially how fast it happened.
when uh when you become a mother, the mother bear instinct kicks in, and it's no longer about your life, it's about your child's. So that's usually when women are in abusive situations, we finally just like are like fuck it, and we pedal to the metal with it because it's once the when the baby's there, it's like your mothering instinct will kick in and then be like, it's about my baby's life now. Because like we care about ourselves only so it's like we care about ourselves, but it's like you care about your baby more than you. And something
We
clicks
don't,
in your
we
head
care
where it's
about ourselves
like,
only so much because think about it. Somebody disrespects your mother, you're going to defend her before you defend yourself. Somebody
mhm,
disrespects your child, you're going to defend them before you defend yourself. It'll be like, say whatever you want about me, but my kid or my mom or my
yeah,
sister.
yeah,
So, um, just back into it. I'd like to take a pause to talk about culture because
yes.
I think I can't speak from experience, but I think a lot of minorities, people of color, the worldly majority, I think we are taught similar things. Um,
Hmm.
and especially in the like Latino Hispanic community, we're taught like, first of all, nobody ever thinks like, oh, these types of things can happen to me. Everybody's always on optimistic, you know?
Hmm.
So you're like, oh, everything's fine. Like it's not, maybe it might be toxic, but it's not gonna be that toxic, you know? And then also we're taught to put up like, especially as women, it's like, so what, you're just gonna be alone your whole life? Or like, are you gonna raise that baby by
Yeah.
yourself? Or like, well, it's better. There's a saying, and I have to like translate it in my head. It's like, it's better the known evil than the unknown good. And
Okay.
like people were telling me these things. Like, it's better
Right.
the known evil than the unknown good. I'm like, yeah, but when the known evil can like I don't know.
Right. Right.
So these are things that are like ingrained into us.
Yeah.
Like you're ingrained to like just survive.
Hmm.
Like survive in suffering, basically.
Right.
It's so normalized because it's better to have a husband than it is to be alone. It's better to have a husband who's a piece of shit than it is to be alone because you're going to be miserable alone. And like, how are you going to do it?
Right,
And I
right. That we
think,
can't survive. It's that thing that like, oh, you can't survive on your own, and it's
hmm,
terrible to be alone. Like the worst case scenario is that you're old and by yourself. And I think that that's what women are waking up out of right now is like it's
yeah.
actually better to be alone and have my peace than it is to like coddle some grown man who's abusing me every day and putting up with that shit.
Hmm.
And we live in a day and age today where women can go get their own, it's legal for us to go work and have our own bank accounts and our own credit cards and we can support ourselves now. So where we used to have to stay in these abusive relationships because of utility of a man, we don't need to do that anymore. So it's we have the option of leaving.
Like maybe, yeah, convenience. It is a little more convenient, but
Right.
not to say that it's impossible. And as hard as it
Correct.
could be in the beginning, it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Like there are plenty of successful people who do it well, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So all of that, and then just like those things in your head, like, oh, but you're gonna be alone, you're gonna be alone forever. Oh, and then this one really hit me. And I don't know if this is a thing anywhere else, but it's like you lose your value once you have had children.
Oh yeah. That's
It's like, oh,
that's that's what they put out there. Yeah. No
yeah,
one's gonna want you as a single mom.
like, baby, they wanted me pregnant.
I
So,
know. I fucking love you.
so, so these things are like culturally ingrained in us, and you have to unlearn them. You
Hmm.
have to unlearn the toxic things that you're taught as a child.
Yeah.
Because it's not always good for you. It's not always better, and it's not always the best.
Yeah.
Um, but then after January, I was on edge constantly, just like, don't make waves, don't make waves. Yes, yes, everything's wonderful, everything's great. And in my head, trying to plan, but nothing really made sense to me because, again, I had that in my head, just like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Even if I go
Yeah.
to Miami, he knows people in Miami too.
Hmm.
And I honestly do believe he has people or person or people. And I honestly believe he's crazy enough too, if he hasn't.
Yeah.
Um, so, and that's not just my own beliefs, that's people close to him that also feel the same. And so it's really crazy also how people will know that this person is like this and not warn you, not see it, or even have hope that you're the one that changes them. And it's not your job to change anybody. Like
No. And most don't change. This
they're
is how
like
they
that,
are. They're fucking hardwired, man.
if they're
They don't
like
want to change. This is how.
and they've been like that,
Right.
let them. So January, February, I'm trying not to make waves. There was an issue in my apartment where like the bathroom upstairs kept leaking and kept having a hole and kept leaking. So he spoke to the office for me, which I appreciated. It was actually something really nice, but it was also a manipulation to like figure this out. We've tried to fix it for months. It hasn't been getting fixed. If that thing falls on me, imagine like y'all will have a much bigger problem than having to fix bathrooms, you know? And so they moved me to a bigger apartment for the same price, and he decided I'm moving in too. At this point, I'm like, when I go to Miami, it's not gonna matter. So
Right, right.
don't make waves, don't make waves.
Yeah.
February. Let me get you exact dates. February 2021. Okay. By February, so late January, early February, we're already moved in. February, he wants to have a baby. And a part of my like biological clock wanted to too, but I just kind of knew like, maybe not with this one. And I said I had agreed because a part of me really did want to, and a part of me, I don't know. I have no idea how to explain it. I wanted it, you know? As crazy as that sounds, I wanted it. My expectation, I had a friend of mine. She has a daughter who is 3 weeks older than Jordan. It took her 10, 11 months to get pregnant, and it took her giving up on trying.
Hmm.
And so she's younger than me. I don't know. I know that's not how it works, but in my head, I'm like, she's younger, so she's more fertile. So, like, it'll be harder for me.
Yeah.
This is perfect. Try,
Right.
and then I won't end up pregnant, and then bye, and then I disappear, like when the time is right. No, ma'am. February 21st, 22nd, I find out I'm pregnant.
So just one round.
One round. And we hadn't been careful or anything before, but it was just something about, and this is also why I say I don't want to put that on my son, and I would never tell him like that because I don't want him to have that pressure. But that was my savior. And so the night before, Sunday night, I was just so exhausted, so exhausted. And I fell asleep. Monday, I'm blocked because why are you going to sleep so early? You used to be on the phone with me till 3 o'clock in the morning. Why are you so tired? Oh, who are you talking to? You know what? Go ahead. Okay. And to the point where I told him, go ahead and block me, and I hope you block me forever because I don't care. I'm tired. You're not gonna keep waking me up out of my sleep because I'm tired.
Mhm.
Now we know Tuesday morning why I was so tired, but I'm still blocked. And now I'm panicking because how am I going to do this alone?
Mhm.
And things in my barbershop weren't going as well because I prioritized being around him, making him happy to not make waves than my clients. And like, it just, I wasn't taking care of my business the way I should, which also we realize manipulation tactic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I am pregnant. So how? For real, how? And so don't make that sad face. This story has a happy ending, girl. You know it. So, whatever. From there, messaged him on Facebook because I was blocked. Then I realized he might not believe me. Sent a picture of the test. Called my mom because he wasn't answering. I'm like, call him and tell him. My mom had to call him and tell him. He called me crying, like, you're really pregnant, like so happy. And here I am thinking in my, because at that point I was a victim. would not call myself a victim now, but in my victim mentality, I'm like, this is going to be what fixes everything.
Right, right. It's gonna change him.
And as soon as he got home, beautiful, wonderful celebration, all of his meth thrown out, down the sink, down the drain, like what's that called? The
The garbage disposal.
that thing like chopped up and screwed up, like gone. And I'm like, oh, this is all we needed to save ourselves. Never have a baby to try to save your relationship.
No, no.
Um, um, but just in my mindset at the point, I'm like, this is fixing everything. Things are great, and this is where you will realize they will be wonderful. They'll be the best, the sweetest, the most charismatic, the most charming, perfect partner for however long they can hold it for.
Hmm.
March, we're in Miami, big blow up. And so I don't remember what happened. I had to pretend to sleep, didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I'm like on edge, on edge, on edge, trying to plan with my friends, like, how are y'all gonna get me?
Bad.
Well, I got to my mom's house and I'm like, open the door and just let me run in. Girl, I ran in and I was there for a couple of days. Cops were called on him. He didn't want to give me my ID, didn't want to give me my wallet, didn't want to give me my Medicaid card for my pregnancy. Like, super crazy. Days go by, things calm down. I get suckered back in. Boom. Until from then on, everything was fine. When we got back to Houston, things were tense. They calmed down after a few days because it only takes a few days.
Yeah.
Things were fine, literally from after that trip until Jordan was born. And here's another little pro tip. Until you're married and until you are pregnant, a lot of times they can even hold it until then.
Oh yeah.
Until you are married or pregnant, that's it, you're
Oh,
trapped.
oh, and most of the time, and this is what was in my case, it will come out during pregnancy when they're not the center of attention anymore.
Yes.
And you need to be the center of attention, and they can't handle that.
Yeah.
And so, and this is why a lot of this is when women realize who they're actually married to. And it's in the pregnancy and then especially in the postpartum.
Hmm.
It gets so bad. And then that's when it's like the mother's like, I got to get out.
Yep. Yep. And so my son is born October, December, things get bad. Phone is broken. I am basically kidnapped again, locked in my own house with my mom there till I'm blue. My mom had to pull him off me. And things were just so crazy. I called the cops.
Okay.
They took 3 hours to get to the house.
Oh my
And
God.
after those 2 or 3 hours, things were just so crazy. I went running to my neighbor's house. And I ran to my neighbor's house. They let me in. We called the cops. And I said, why haven't the cops come? I told you guys he was threatening to kill me.
Oh my God.
And they're like, oh, because when they got there, they called you. And since you didn't answer the phone, they didn't know whether or not to still come. But
Wait,
you
what? They should be busting down the door then because you could be dead.
That's exactly what I said.
Oh
I
my
said, so
God.
why didn't they buzz? And I'm like, look, do not have them call me again. Because if I'm gone, my mom will give you guys the biggest lawsuit you have ever seen, and you will not see another dollar ever, not even to pay your own cops. And I was like, because how are you going to tell me? Like, I literally was telling you he had a gun, he this, he that. Cool. Thankfully, they had called my neighbor's phone when they were there, and she said, yes, absolutely, go back, go in their house. And so we're in the living room. He's blocking the front door, waving his gun around.
Oh my God.
which is not registered and illegally purchased, by the way. He bought it from his friend, who then, after, instead of like registering it to him, they called and was like, hey, my gun is stolen, so that if anything ever happens, it's not linked to anybody.
Oh wow.
And so, waving it around, and I'm realizing at this point, I'm not as scared of the gun because I realize there's no clip in there. And I know this, I have seen this trick before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my mom's absolutely freaking out. And he had let me know if the cops show up before they can even get in the house, I'm gone.
But you're not in the house.
I'm in the
Oh,
house.
you're in the house. You're not at your neighbor's.
He's in the front of the door. Because I went back to like calm things down so that he doesn't get the idea that I called the cops. So this is where, like, for real deal, justice system gets involved.
Okay.
I'm being told if the cops show up, I'm gonna be gone before they even get in the house. Unsavable. My mom didn't even want me to call because she was so
So
scared.
scared, yeah.
Hard ass knock on the door. I'm in the like hallway of the closet directly in front of the front door. He's blocking the front door, waving the thing around. He comes running this way. I screamed bloody murder because I'm thinking he's gonna grab me, take me away.
Yeah.
I screamed bloody fucking murder. And my mom opens the door. They're like, what's going on? They take him. Not because of the situation, but because of a warrant he had for terroristic threats for an argument he got into with.
Oh my God.
Now, he spent a good couple of weeks in there, blowing me up nonstop, me with my newborn child, trying to weigh out the options of like, how do I go about life as a single mother, work, like, I don't even know. I'm a first-time mom. I don't know how to
Hmm.
navigate this. I'm in a city where I have zero support. How do I navigate this? And I say, you know what? Let me figure out. We were working on me like learning the business for trucking so that I could then make some money to help out or whatever. I'm like, you know what? Let me keep doing this just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. I don't know. Something
Oh
in
my
me was like just a
God.
little longer and it was so dumb. But again, I do think I think the chips fell exactly where they needed to.
Hmm.
Um, so boom, comes back. Now we're going through courts. There's a protective order. He can't be home. He has an ankle bracelet on. He can't go anywhere near me. Nothing. But we're at home living together. And now me going on the truck with him constantly. So I'm with the baby, with him on the truck every trip. Things are great until February, another argument. Things get a little crazy, crazy driving, nothing else. March, again, something. I don't remember. Crazy argument. June and July is what did it. June. June, his family, his cousin, and his cousin's wife come to stay with us because they're planning to move to Houston to have a better life because you know how South Florida is. And I'm so thankful they came because Jordan was already at an age where he was starting to crawl.
Hmm.
His cousin was going to start working in the truck with him. It was the perfect excuse to not, oh, I can't go in the truck. The baby's gonna go crazy being in the truck. He wants to crawl around. He wants to walk around.
Yeah.
He felt like I had a chaperone because his cousin's wife was there. So it was like, oh, she has a chaperone.
Yeah.
Armed. And I was like, and you know, how crazy is that? Like you, your cousin, and me, all three, and a baby, all three of us in the truck. Like it's too many
Yeah.
people. It's
Yeah.
uncomfortable. The baby's gonna be stressed. Like you're not gonna do that to your son. And this was after, thank God, I was able to convince him because I don't know how. With all of that, I was able to convince him because we had just had an argument right there in June where he took the gun out of me in front of his cousin, put it to my head, put bullets in the clip, and put the clip in and said, "This time is not a joke." And when he pointed it to my head, his cousin got the gun out of his hand and was like, "You're crazy." Jordan was right here, and freaking out because of the tension. So his cousin took the gun. "You're absolutely crazy. How are you gonna do that?" And let me tell you how bad it is when you are in it. Ladies, when you are in it, do not be ashamed. Even with all of that, I already, thank God I'm self-aware enough because I could already movie screen watch myself trying to justify this time. And he said something that clicked for me. And what he said that clicked for me is his cousin screaming at him saying, "The baby, be careful." And he said, "I don't care." That
That's
I
when
don't
you real, yeah.
saved
That's
me.
when your brain could no longer justify.
I was already starting to try to like justify this. It's the stress. Maybe he's on nothing, like starting to try to justify. And then that "I don't care" saved me, saved Jordan, and honestly saved him because I would have probably tried to put him in a ditch too. And at that point in the relationship, I was honestly, he kept his two guns in a book bag under our bed. He would sleep on me. He would wake up as soon as I got out of bed. So I was night after night contemplating, thinking, how can I get that? And how do I use it in a way that I know I don't need to do twice? Once, one and done. I honestly was to a point that I thought I had to go that far. I told myself I wouldn't get like this. I was to a
No, it's
point that I
okay.
told myself that I really thought I had to go that far to be able to continue my life. And thank God for the laws in Texas. I was like, I know it'll be justified. I'll be off clean, good, fine. Um, so after that, that I don't care, it saved everything because that's when I knew like there was no hiding it anymore at that point. And I all I had to wait was one more week, 1 or 2 more weeks. I don't even remember. It was nothing compared to the 2 years I had already been.
Yeah. And so like I just want to stop and say like you're talking when you're in abuse, like I unless you women listening to this understand when they've been in abusive relationships, but those that have not that are listening, like months of brainwashing occurs that you are not realizing that is happening, that is changing the way you think and perceive reality. And you are now thinking and perceiving reality exactly how your abuser wants you to perceive their reality bubble. Like they've pulled you in. So there's this like, again, like you're saying, like the justification, like you come up just like they justify their actions, you somehow start doing that
You
too.
justify it too.
Yeah, it's a very it's
They
like
teach you how to do it.
yes, they like literally hold your brain in their hands and until you're out of it and you have to be out of it for months, like no contact, no nothing. You look back and it's like where was my fucking brain? But it's like they had like you're thinking like a different person. Like you're like that's not me. How
I
was I
think
thinking
also
like this?
self-awareness is a big thing on what level you're at with how was I thinking because after my son was born, I knew like even looking back, I understood my thinking. I was like, I was just trying to survive. I was just trying to get out because when it's like that, it's not. break up and be done. It's not
It's not.
get out and figure it out. It is an escape. June, hearing that, no me importa, I don't care. That was it for me. And that's one thing I realized. As much help as we want, as much help as we need, until you have your snapping point, nobody's going anywhere.
It's true.
In December, I had looked up resources, I had found help, I had found everything, trying to figure out what my next steps were. And I just wasn't in a place where I wanted to go into a shelter yet. Um, but it turns out you are 80% more at risk of being the abuse being fatal when they have put their hands on your throat.
Oh, wow.
80, I want to say it was 80% more. I don't remember now, but I just remember the number 80. So 80% more at risk. It's more dangerous for an abuser to put their hands on your throat than it ever is for them to just hit. Because putting your hands on your throat, you can actually, without enough care,
Right.
thing happen. And so that rang in my head constantly. And once that I don't care came out of his mouth, I knew it was time to go. So I only needed to wait a couple of weeks for his job to send him back on the road with his cousin. That the argument that happened was him and his cousin doing their drug test, doing everything, like literally preparing to go. So it might have not even been a week. I honestly don't remember that whole time.
Yeah. Well, especially when you're postpartum.
Hmm.
There's just so much going on in a woman's body during that time between sleep deprivation, hormones, like you are in the thick of it. Like you don't even, you don't realize how much in postpartum you're not thinking straight until after postpartum, like two
Hmm.
years after postpartum. You
Hmm.
look back and you're like, even like when it's regular, you're just like, damn, I was not okay. Like it's
And
no,
even when
there's
you're
no
regular,
space for
you're
women in
never as
society. Like, go ahead.
no, and even when you're regular, you're not
Right.
the same as even before having
No.
this.
And now you're dealing with the stress hormones, brain manipulation. Like there's just so much. And it's like again, like the women that are watching this that understand because they've been through something similar, like looking back like what was going on in your body. And it's not you, it's like you can't until you experience it, words can only do so much. You know what I mean? And then, like you said, there's like that one clicking point because, like, even in my own, which it was never as bad as what you're describing. Like, I was so fogged up
Thank
though.
God it
Like,
wasn't.
I know, and I was so fogged up in postpartum, and like I was like, there's no way this could be happening. There's no
Especially
way.
because we're together so long.
Right. And I
It's such a
watched
great
him be a
relationship
stepfather.
before
I decided it was okay to have a baby with this man because of how good of a stepfather he was.
and for years.
Yes, for years. We were together for 7 years before we decided to have a baby. And so, but then like now being completely out of it, out of contact, I can see where even in the relationship there was like mind manipulation going on to make sure he was the center all the time or like that it was just there's just things now that I
Yeah.
couldn't see when I was in it.
Those
Especially I
intricate
was
little details.
yes, with my situation it was like a little bit over a long period of time until I don't know who I am and I'm basically just a second version of him. It's like it was very just bizarre. And
Do
I
you
can
know
see
what?
that now.
Now that you say that, I remember back when I had met you and like when you would talk, because I met you from your lives.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
followed you, but your lives. And I just
Yeah.
you were teaching and stuff or like too. And so I remember when you would talk about him and it just always kind of sounded like thinking back on it. like you were taking care of him, like you were
Yes.
mommying him.
Yes. And I didn't even realize it was happening. I'm just like, oh, I'm just being like the good wifey and like
Yeah, like,
but like and a lot of that manipulation was like to constantly get my attention to him so I wasn't paying attention to my business or the things that I like or the and it's slowly over time and then in postpartum you have so much going on and it's like there's all like when I look back I'm like the amount of abusive stuff that was going on from the time of pregnancy to in postpartum it's just like my brain wouldn't accept it.
but also that's something that's normalized, especially again, Latino Hispanic culture. And then you're what, Italian and Okinawan, no?
Mhm.
So I can only imagine.
Male-centered.
Right? I don't know
The
Okinawa.
wife's position,
It is,
male everything.
you need to take care of your husband.
Exactly.
Mommy, our husbands. It
Yep.
is normal. It is what you do.
hmm
What we're taught. That's how it's supposed to be. And it's not like it's only until now in modern times, and thank God for social media and all of that, it's a double-edged sword. But the good part is we realize it's not normal. You shouldn't be babying your husband.
Right. They're grown fucking men.
They are grown men. So when
All
he
right,
was
your escape.
yes, when he was out with his cousin in the truck, I don't know what argument started. I went, got a bank account because I didn't have one at this point, and
Financial entrapment always happens.
no job, closed my business, no bank account. I don't remember what happened with that. And then we had a joint account, but and then so I opened my bank account and I don't know, we got into an argument and he was like, just wait until I get back. And those words did something to me. I went, got boxes, got everything I could. I had two cars. I had my first car I ever bought, and I had a big old Tahoe. Put everything I could into those two cars and two of my friends' cars, out,
I
gone.
think I remember you telling me that. Like, I think we were talking during this point because I was like trying to figure out how to help you. But then you're like, I just got all my stuff in vehicles and we're out.
And even then, being out, I went far from Houston. I went 2 hours from Houston. And I would still go back and see him and like maintain contact until I decided, like, no,
Mhm.
no.
So how did you finally like escape with no contact?
So escaping with no contact, it actually, he was in jail for a while because of everything. 'Cause I called. When I left, I called and I told them everything. I
Okay.
got a CPS case because of it, because gun,
Right.
child.
Right.
They determined I was safe. I was doing everything to get out. Wonderful, great, closed case. I was planning to go back to Florida. I met my current husband, which I'm so thankful for. I didn't do it right because I was just so scared to be alone that I wanted to find and meet somebody. And then, I met my husband now and ended up staying out there in Texas for him. And the other one was causing issues between me and him because he didn't know how to talk to just our child. It was always, what about you? What are you doing?
Right.
Oh,
'Cause he has to stay in your head.
tell that guy thanks for taking care of you while I was in jail, but like you can come back now.
hmm
And when I realized he wouldn't let it go, I was like, no, it's time to go. Like I had, and this wasn't the right way to do it in retrospect. I had my husband's support. I had somebody to basically take care of me, even though I was taking care of myself because I was also working and everything. I was just in a more comfortable place where I knew, like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. He
Well,
is,
this is why support is so important. Like, and then you have somebody else also to help you think clearly. And you're out of it, so you're thinking more clearly now. But it's the reason why women stay is because of lack of support,
yeah,
because
for
of
me, it was like a
isolation.
funnel process
Yes.
where, like, in it, lessen it, lessen it, lessen it, lessen it. Okay, now we are done.
Yes.
And maybe that's not the best way. It was the way that worked for me at that time. I would say cold turkey is the best way.
hmm
but I also know it's not that easy.
So do you have like a protective order for like you, is that why like he's not around and
My divorce, it took so long because he refused to sign divorce papers, refused
right.
to do anything. It was so much harder. And my lawyer had to do a little extra digging, but I had remembered just from things, his ex of 23 years had a lifetime protective order. So, in Texas, there are levels to protective orders. They do the original one for like 30 days, 60 days, whatever it is. Then you go to court and they determine are they going to give you a like a hard protective order, which is going to be at least 1 year.
Hmm.
Normal is 2 years, just to be safe. If it's real bad, they'll give you 5 years. And then if it's real bad, it will be lifetime. Now, what that means is after your 2 years, you can go back to court and renew it.
Hmm.
They don't need to be there. You can go by yourself. After 5 years, whatever the time is that they give you, you can go back to court and renew it. This woman never has to go back to court and renew it. That
Okay.
man will never have the right to be anywhere near her. So my lawyer finds this out. I didn't even know if it was true or not. I just know he had told me that, like in his crying and whining, like, look
Yeah,
what she
yeah.
did to me. It was a lifetime. And like, how did she get that? And da 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 da. To, oh, I know why. Because imagine what 23 years of what she went through.
Right. Right.
And so my divorce, my lawyer pulls out that lifetime order, which was like this thick,
Holy
hands it
shit.
to the judge and said, lifetime. The judge said, lifetime. And my lawyer says, yeah, I've never seen that in the state of Texas either. My divorce, clean. He needs, because I fought with my lawyer. I said, I don't want him to have anything. No,
Right.
nothing. Take his rights away. And she said, I don't know. They won't typically do
It's
that.
hard.
And so they didn't take his rights away, but what they did was the rights he has are dependent on what I feel at the moment.
Oh, wow.
So if I say no, it's no. So he has no rights, not by law, but by me. By law, by
Wow.
me.
Right. Wow, that's well, that's good.
And I waived my rights to what is that called? Child
Child
support.
support.
The
Fuck it. At
judge
that point, who fucking
The
cares?
judge
As
didn't
long
want
as
to. He
yeah.
was like, are you sure? And I said, listen, you don't know everything I've been through. I don't want to relive it here. But um
It's a way money's
it's a
manipulation to people
way,
like this.
first of all, the amount of times he threatened to kill his ex if she ever would have put one on him, the way that he felt entitled if she puts one on him to have to see the kid or have to see
Right.
her,
Right.
and the way that he wouldn't pay it anyways.
Hmm.
And it would just upset him more. It would tense the situation more. I'd rather not.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure? You can always come back and put it again." And I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
take it.
It's
Like
better
I
to
waive my
just
right." And he was like, "You know what? In a situation like this, I understand. If you change your mind, you come back here, and I will give you child support." I said, "Okay."
wow.
Mhm.
But so you and your son are safe.
Yes, we are safe.
You
And I really do think anybody going through it, if you have doubts, if you are scared, if you are listening to this with the hopes of getting inspiration, mm, sup- something to help your fear, something to give you that courage, this is it. Like, do it for yourself, for your kids, for your family. Like, do it for whoever you have to do. If you're listening to this with intention of hearing something that's gonna get you out, that's all you need.
like
Don't
let this be that moment that clicks in your
don't
head.
yeah, yes, but also like anybody not in it who is in the beginning phases of it, or like having never gone through it. Hopefully, I pray you never do. Maybe just pay attention to the signs. Listen to your gut. Your gut is
Yes. Don't blame
telling
yourself.
you
Don't unconvince
absolutely not.
yourself. Even like the benefit of the doubt things, or like there's so many things early on that goes off in a woman's body, but we're like taught to ignore that out of because we're too emotional, we're too whatever. Just listen.
Just listen. That's
Just listen.
exactly where I'm getting with
Like
it. Just
I when I go back, it's just like there was those times and the like my stomach literally hurt.
don't
But
be
I was
scared.
like, oh, it's just my trauma. It's just that. And it's like, oh, I'm projecting my past partner onto this one. Like all this bullshit, which unfortunately, like the new age spiritual community, like really promotes that shit, like in an unintentional way, I think. And it gets this is why I had this big thing of like not spiritualizing relationships. Don't call them soulmates, don't call them twin flames. Don't It doesn't matter if they're spiritual too. They can still be manipulators. They can still like don't be like starry-eyed just because they're part of your spiritual tradition, part of it doesn't mean shit. They're
No.
still just human beings. And like even when it's like, oh, there was signs for our relationship. No, I can't. I was watching a documentary a couple months ago. It was
Hmm.
actually about somebody who got this woman that got killed in Florida. And this guy was like a total master manipulator. And like he proposed to her. And when he was doing it, a dragonfly came and landed on her ring finger. And she's like, so like it was like she took it as a sign that they were like meant to be together. And it's like, and she's dead now. So like not spiritualizing shit when it comes to relationships, but like the red fucking flags need to be your sign.
And
You know what
maybe,
I mean?
maybe you do need to be in that relationship, and maybe that's what you need to realize, like to listen to your gut, to trust yourself, to not, don't let it get as far as so
Yeah.
many have.
Yeah.
I think it's so important because also I'm thinking with my brain from being in it right now. I would have heard this and been like, but so what? I just have to, at the
Right.
first thing, if everybody, no,
Right. I
no.
know.
There's a difference between getting a red flag on somebody and a red flag on what is a situation of like, maybe that wasn't okay. Maybe they're not telling the truth. Nobody's obligated to tell, and oh my God, do not trauma dump neither.
Yeah.
Don't trauma dump because people take advantage of that. So, like, something with spirituality, old school spirituality, the best spirituality. Like, if you think of those people, they're stoic. You know
hmm
nothing about them, you
hmm
know little about them. You see what they want you to see, and that's how we should be. That's
hmm
how we should be. Um, and then, one day they'll just pop up out of nowhere and be like, "Yeah, I really went through it." And you're like, "What? What do you mean you what?" I never saw that. Of course you didn't, because you shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's not as like sucky as this is to say, it's not anybody else's problem to deal with, here about, or anything your shit. And
Mm.
like, I appreciate you so much. I also know I would handle things a lot different if things were not, because I had no right. I mean, I had the right, but I had no right, for lack of a better way to say it, to be worrying you, my mom, other friends of
No, no,
mine.
no, but see, that
And
is
part of it
no, you
is
do
we do need
though,
support.
because that's why we stay. We don't want to bother people. Like we are taught as women,
True.
don't put your problems on people when it's like, yes, you do need to reach out. You do need to get another set of eyes because there's a lot of like even in my own situation, there was like shame in telling other people what was going on and I didn't want to reach out. But it
I
wasn't
think
until I started reaching out that I got the support I needed.
with you, I didn't message you until I was already kind of out, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so then
Mhm.
that's fine. I think what I meant was more like, again, we go through phases. Studies show that it takes on average seven times of abuse before a woman is out.
Mhm.
So while you're in those average, and who knows, maybe yours or mine or whoever's is more than seven or less than seven. But when you're in that place where you know you're not ready, I think that's what I meant is maybe I shouldn't have been bothering people knowing I wasn't ready because then people get stressed,
Hmm.
you know.
I
But it
think.
did help me to an extent because people had my location.
Mhm.
People called me constantly. People made sure. But to the mind of something, not someone, something truly crazy and demented, it doesn't matter how many times a day somebody calls you. If they want to get rid of you, they will.
Yeah. I think this is just the importance of women like
Standing their ground.
making community again because um when we went so like there's maid and mother crone. Crones have seen so much. You know what I mean? They've seen things. Us as mothers have seen things maidens haven't even experienced yet. So like when there's the levels of things and when you're a maiden and you're young and you're not able to see clearly, like having women that are older to help you. And I know sometimes it's not like that, right? Like you're calling your mom like, "Oh, just let him in, just let him in." But like right now we are in a space where females are very awakened and we're not taking shit anymore and we are understanding the game and we know that we've been abused and our grandmother's been abused and our mothers have been abused, so it's like we know what to look for now, and so when we're in community and you're not hidden away, we can be like, hey, that's a red flag when you're not able to see it, and things can be
Yes.
stopped early on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think, yes. I think, yeah.
So we got to stay talking.
Stay talking, keep community, trust your gut. Don't be scared to analyze. Am I blaming myself? Am I overanalyzing? Like, am I not overanalyzing? Am I diminishing what it
Yeah.
could be?
Yeah.
Is it truly the situation that makes me feel uncomfortable, or is it the person? Because there is a difference. It's hard to recognize,
Mhm.
but you deep down know you
Yeah.
recognize.
At the end of the day, you deep down know. It's so hard because it's when you yeah, it's just it's easier said when you're out of it versus when you're in it
And
and
here's
you're
the thing.
experiencing it.
Yeah.
All right.
But there
Well,
is hope.
yeah, yes.
And for anybody scared to like, oh, I'm gonna be alone forever then. Like, no, I got my husband.
Yes.
We,
And honestly,
there's a
it's
way,
better to be alone than to be in abuse. You cannot live like that.
truly,
Your
truly,
peace over everything.
truly,
Well, thank
truly.
you so much, Jax,
Thank
for being brave
you.
enough to
I
come
feel
on
like
here
this
and
is so
say all of
important.
this. Huh?
I said thank you.
Oh, you're
It's
welcome.
so
You're
important
welcome.
to be
It
doing this.
is.
Thank
It is.
you for doing this with your podcast and like putting it out in the open so that women can be there for each other.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to hear our stories and to get I think the big thing is women getting rid of shame and guilt over being in a relationship like that because it is still put in society to shame and guilt the woman for staying in a relationship like that when there's so much more going on psychologically inside of us that keep us there,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm.
So thank you again for being vulnerable and sharing.
Thank you. And if anybody hears this and they like need to talk to somebody or need help with plans on their way out or anything like that, I'm never on Instagram. My TikTok is Jax Honey, two X's, HUNNY. And then I'm sure you two are probably open to
Yeah,
hear.
yeah. And always, obviously,
Community is
wherever
important.
you are locally, domestic violence shelters, you'll be surprised of just how much is available in communities to help with the escape route. There's stuff there.
And I stayed in a shelter when I left. I stayed from August until October, we'll say. And it was till September. So maybe July to September. It was 2 months.
Okay.
I was about to make my 3 months. And it wasn't nearly as bad, as terrible, as sad, as depressing as I thought it was. And
Okay.
actually, they had a lot of resources.
That's awesome.
So helpful.
That's awesome.
And they're so private. Like security is top tier with them.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep. Nothing to
Good.
be ashamed of.
Nope, not at all. You do what you got to do to save your life.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Jax.
you.
Want to be part of an online community filled with other badass women supporting each other on their wicked journey? Check out my online community, the Wise Woman Network. We have classes, courses, online community meetings, and more. Activate that sleeping goddess within and unleash your divine power. Join me today on a free trial to all my listeners. Link is in the show notes. I'll see you there.